Welcome everybody to another episode of Reggae Talk, the voice of reason for the culture. So we're getting into episode 2. Episode 1 was truly amazing. Well, the feedback has just been tremendous. What you say, for real?
Cha, it's your co-host For Real, the realist. And definitely I agree, the feedback was awesome. I loved it. I appreciate all the feedback. We're hearing you, we're listening, but we want to make sure we take your suggestions and make ourselves better.
Yeah, man, like, honestly, I did not know people would have responded the way they did. You know, and the feedback is just definitely a motivation. It's a man said, dog.
Truly.
It's a motivation just to be the best we can be.
Hey, like Chronic said it best. Do it for the love.
Do it for the love. This is definitely doing it for the love.
Oh yeah, and like I said, the feedback it gives us the motivation, the inspiration to keep going.
We just wanted to do something different and stand out a little bit. You know, we're not massive like some of these other guys, but you know, our thing is about substance. You get what I'm saying? So
I agree. So hey, look, we love you guys. So now let's start the episode 2.
Episode 2.
Let's delve right in there.
Let's dig right into it. Yeah, man. So at the end of the month, the Grammys. The Grammys are coming up, right? Yes.
Yeah.
I believe the Grammys is on I think January 28th.
Okay, that's like next week.
January 28th.
Wow.
So we figure we'll just get into some reggae music related stuff. You know, not dancehall. It's one reggae, but reggae roots, because that's what the Grammys focus on whenever they're giving out their album of the year and all that stuff.
True.
And one thing I noticed about the Grammys and the nominations, most of the nominees are not Jamaican.
Wow. like not even a little bit? Not even like mother was Jamaican, father was Jamaican?
Most of the nominees are not Jamaican. As a matter of fact, that's actually an indication of what's going on in the market right now in terms of the rise of the American reggae artists. You know, because if you look at the billboards and all of that, it's really, really dominated by American reggae artists. You know, it's not really our Jamaican bred artists. It's, you know, these American guys who are dominating the charts. So my question is, what are they doing to dominate the charts? And what are our Jamaican artists not doing to get on the charts, to dominate the charts? So if somebody's doing something good, right, it makes sense to, you know, kind of pick their brain and try to see what they're doing. What are they doing that we're not doing? You know, so for you.
Yeah, so can we name the names of the non-Jamaicans that are on the charts at the moment?
Let's call some names.
So number one, we have The Green. Marching Orders.
Marching Orders.
That's a song. We have
Hang on.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's be clear. What's the name of the band?
The Green.
The Green.
Yeah.
Okay, we want to be clear because
The Green.
Many people may not be familiar with The Green.
Yeah.
Let's go down the list.
Let's skip number 2 because number 2 is various artists. Number 3 is Henrique. I believe. Henrique. So Henrique's
clearly doing something great.
Yeah.
To find himself on the chart. Honestly, I have no idea who Henrique is.
Me neither.
I don't know.
I'm gonna speculate it's a non-Jamaican.
Yeah.
4. All right, here we go. We have Stony Hill, Damon Jr. Gang.
Yeah, everybody know Damon Marley.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's 1. So you get 1 Jamaican.
Big album.
Now 5, we have Mr. Savannah.
Now, people, do you recognize these names? I don't. But guess what? Obviously, many people do recognize these names because they're buying or they're streaming or whatever they're doing. You know, they're consuming their music. That's the reason that, you know, that why they're on the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to go down the list, we have 6. We have Soulja.
Soulja.
Yeah. Poetry in Motion. That's the song that they have on the Billboard charts. Go down 7. We have Tribal Seeds, Roots Party, and 8. all right, we have our second Jamaican reggae artist on the list, Chronix.
Chronix, number 8. But Chronix, that album has been out since summertime. So,
And it's an awesome album, by the way.
Definitely many things. Chronix should win the and we're gonna get into that later on.
Yeah, we are.
Many things he's the one that should win the reggae album of the year.
Now, surprisingly, we have a third Jamaican artist on the charts, and surprisingly, it is Tommy Lee, Sparta. The song is called New Creator.
Yeah, I think that's his EP.
Album.
That's his EP.
EP, right?
Yeah, man. All right, so that right there is an indication. It's definitely an indication of what's going on in the reggae market. Clearly, these American guys, they're doing something that's working. What are our Jamaican artists not doing? Right? Now, let's kind of like backtrack a little bit. Back in the days, our Jamaican artists, no, as a matter of fact, when Americans wanted reggae, they looked to us, a tiny little island in the Caribbean, for reggae. When the world wanted reggae, they looked to Jamaica. But clearly, something happened along the line where they're not looking to Jamaica for reggae. They're creating their own versions of reggae. And the indication is on the charts.
Pun intended.
You get what I'm saying? Clearly, we are not doing something right. And they're seizing the opportunity and they're creating their own versions of reggae music, and it's dominating the charts. So let's get a little bit further into it.
All right. So what went wrong? What's the reasons for the shift?
Yeah. What went wrong?
One, I'd say bad press. As far as our great reggae artists getting incarcerated, such Buju Banton, to name. That's definitely a lot to do with it.
Yeah, man.
Any bad press comes to mind?
Yeah, man. Bad press, because what it is that, you see, a lot of people don't understand how powerful bad press is. Because Jamaica we position ourselves. Our brand is reggae music. That's the number one export of Jamaica. So with the bad press, the brand kind of definitely taking a hit. So even though you have some artists who are doing really good in Jamaica, the overall brand took a hit. So we're not really positioned. Our market. I mean, this is a marketing term,
and we're not
our position in the market is not the same like what it used to be. So you might have XYZ artists doing well, but they're kind of bunched. They're kind of bunched together. So on the international end, a lot of these guys might say, or even consumers, they might say, you know what, Jamaica, man, it's not like what it used to be.
So in this brand, would you also like incorporate bad brand the instrumentals that's coming out of Jamaica as well as bad branding, not being authentic?
Definitely.
So people,
I would say the sound changed.
Right, they're hearing this microwave ping ping sound, and maybe they're like,
the sound changed.
Right.
That ties again into the brand and the position, because what some people consider reggae music is not what's coming out of Jamaica. Oftentimes, how many times have you made someone hear a song and check the song out and they say, "Is that reggae? A reggae that?"
Right. No, it's true, and that would definitely have people overlooking our great Jamaican acts who are in Jamaica because of bad branding. They're like, they haven't been putting out anything good, so they overlook someone who's great. So I definitely agree with you in that sense.
Definitely. So what else you think, that's why these other guys, are basically outshining us in the reggae market?
Another reason would be that our radio stations are not playing enough reggae music. They're playing mostly foreign music, and dancehall. Remember, dancehall is the number one popular music in Jamaica right now. Reggae is put to the back burner. Reggae roots, I should say,
is
put to the back burner. So that's possibly why our reggae artists are not getting, the opportunity to be nominated for the Grammys.
Because a lot of people tend to forget that reggae roots is no longer popular music in Jamaica. Dancehall is the popular music in Jamaica. So it's kind of put on the back burner.
Yeah, they Jamaica paid out millions of dollars in publishing the foreign artists instead of elevating their own.
We're not elevating our own, and we're playing a lot of foreign. I think JCAP, they handle all the publishing and copyright and all that stuff. They paid out. I think they said 230 million, something like that, Jamaican, to foreign artists just for playing their music.
Wow.
And as a matter of fact, that's a good segue into something else I wanted to share with you guys. And this is what I did a little research. On this. And I learned that Jamaica is actually on what they call a USTR watch list. Look it up, peeps. USTR 301 watch list. What that is it's a list that the US kind of put out that has maybe about 30 countries that has copyright issues. Basically, Jamaica does not oversee, they have the right publishing bylaws and all that stuff, copyright bylaws. So as a result of that, I think what is this? Apple Music doesn't work in Jamaica. Spotify doesn't work in Jamaica. What's the other ones for you? I think Hulu.
Right.
Hulu doesn't work in Jamaica. Netflix, I'm going to get into that too. So basically what America is saying is that, you know what? Your guys, they're using our music illegally and they're not paying us for publishing. And every time you play every time you play a Neo or every time you play a Justin Timberlake or whatever, Justin Timberlake should get a little change in his pockets. So you know what? We're not going to allow you to consume our music via Apple Music, via Spotify. You get what I'm saying? So even if Jamaicans wanted to buy music,
right?
Even if Jamaican-based consumers wanted to buy music, they cannot.
So it's not it's not an even playing field.
No,
yeah, that's rough. Well, I mean, another thing is
the playing field is not level.
Are Jamaicans even interested in purchasing music? I mean,
This is the interesting thing. People always say Jamaicans don't buy music. Jamaica is a mixtape. It's a mixtape culture. Right. We don't buy music, but guess what? Even if we wanted to buy music, we cannot buy music.
Right.
Because if I try to access Apple Music from Jamaica, it's not working. If I try to access Spotify, it's not working.
Right.
Just because of the USTR 301 watch list, which bans Jamaicans from using those programs.
That's huge, man. That's huge, and that's it sucks. It's rough,
So
it's like a direct shot at our rights as consumerists to purchase.
Exactly.
We're not being able to to elevate our artists in that sense.
And I mean, what do you think about this? About that USTR about the watch list? Do you think it's fair?
Hell no, that's not fair. I think Jamaica needs to work on getting themselves off that list.
I don't think there's two ways. This is how I look at it. I don't think they should ban Jamaica,
right?
Because Jamaica is like a cultural capital. You saw the recent Wyclef interview.
Yes,
it was a recent Wyclef interview where he
kind
of touched on some of these things.
Right.
Jamaica is a cultural capital.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? That's one way to look at it. Also, you cannot use someone's intellectual property without giving them credit or without compensating them. So that's why not only does this apply to music, it applies to cable TV. I read in one article, they said that there's so many bootleg cable stations in Jamaica and they're rebroadcasting all these different shows and all these different things.
Wow.
And the power that be in Jamaica, they're doing a horrible job at regulating this. So that's why America say, you know what? We have you on our watch list.
Right.
Because you're using our intellectual property and you're not compensating us. That's the reason why a lot of these American guys, their numbers the playing field is not level. That's one reason. You get what I'm saying? What else are these guys doing?
Let's how about the Jamaican reggae infrastructure? Or lack thereof.
We don't even have a chart in Jamaica. We don't when I say have a chart, We have about 10 charts in Jamaica. There's a million charts. How do we know which one is reliable?
Right.
We don't know which one is reliable. So an outsider who doesn't really follow the happenings in Jamaica, they can't really tell what's going on in Jamaica because there's no chart.
Yeah,
there's no legitimate chart. You know, and how many times you hear, oh, this artist or that producer or whatever, they buy out the chart.
Oh, yeah.
They buy out the chart or they do all these different things. So nothing is reliable. We don't know what's what. So how can an artist work on his profile, his international profile? If a record label or a casual fan want to know what's going on in Jamaica, if they don't really have the proper metrics to say this artist is doing well because of this number. You get what I'm saying? Record labels like to use numbers.
So it's definitely important that as Jamaicans, we create some kind of reliable chart system where we can definitely allow outsiders, foreigners, these record labels to know who's the number one selling artist, reggae artists in Jamaica, or just who buzzing around the local scene. Exactly. And it's important. It's very important.
Exactly. So the infrastructure is definitely flawed. Copyright issues, publishing issues, big issue right there with that USTR peeps. And I want you guys to look this up. Google it. USTR 301 watch list. And you'll read, it's like a long document. But you'll find what they say, what they say about Jamaica. That's big. So, what else are these American guys are doing?
All right, let's put some blame on overseas now. Like, we can't blame Jamaica for everything.
Because I want to be clear. I want to be clear with people because a lot of people are quick to say, yo, white boy, I'm going to take over record music.
Right.
White boy, I'm going to take over everything. And, they try to make a race issue. And I'm not going to get on this race issue.
Nah.
I'm not going to do that because...
We ain't going to pull a race card.
No, I'm not going to do that because clearly we need to fix our house. We need to fix our house. There are some things in our house that is not right. And we got to get it right.
And this is constructive criticism here. We're not bashing. We're not trying to make they don't at all feel like we're trying to bash or we're just, picking, nitpicking. This is all constructive criticism to make our artists more I should say
just to make people think.
Right, make think. Yeah.
Just to make people think. You get what I'm saying? And next thing, remember a few years ago they said that, there was a reggae revival. It was good. It was cool. It was a little awakening and everything, and people started paying more attention to roots and stuff like that. But I always remember one thing that Jimmy Cliff said, and it resonated with me. Jimmy Cliff said he doesn't think it's really a revival. He sees, a couple artists doing their thing, but a revival should be across the board. A revival should be like a celebration of players of instruments holistically. So he felt it was more scattered.
And I agree.
And even Taurus Riley said it wasn't a revival because he said it was a Jamaican air revival. So in other words, I thought that was funny.
Well, here's my take on that now. I mean, of course, Jimmy Cliff is going to say it's not a revival because he's coming from a time when it was greats. Bob Marley, the Wailers, Burning Spear. That's like the highest point of reggae, period. So of course he's using his generation and comparing. So he's not gonna say, oh, they're coming out much better than us. So I want to give it its credit. The reggae revival did start a whole, people start paying attention into reggae a little bit more.
They did.
With Chronic's Prodigy.
Is it me?
Yeah.
Is it me or it felt short-lived?
Oh yeah, it was definitely short-lived. But hey, it was lived.
Where's it? Better than yeah, man. But back to these American guys.
Yeah, American landscape
who are dominating the charts, and us Jamaican guys, Jamaican artists. It's like they're playing catch up. Can you really blame these American guys? I mean, I think it's listen, man, this is music. There's music, and then you have the music business.
Right.
And clearly they seem to get the business side. Because I was listening to Common Kings. Right. I was listening to Common Kings album earlier. Common Kings, many of you might not be familiar with Common Kings. It's a reggae band. I believe they're from Southern Cal or somewhere out there. Reggae band, they're Grammy nominated and everything. Now, Common King's album, it's cool and everything, and it's a vibe, but it's not really the reggae that I know. It's more like a fusion. It's very popish, and you hear the one drop beat, you hear the one drop rhythm on thing, but that's really where it ends. Reggae music is a feeling, it's a feeling, and it's just something that's I don't really hear the soul, I really don't hear it. But Common Kings cannot sing the kind of reggae that I'm used to, because Common Kings is not from where I'm from. You agree, for you?
Oh yeah, I agree. I listened to a few songs from Common King, and one thing that I did notice about their music is the fact that it sounds good. It's a hit song. You definitely is gonna make sales. It sounds like a pop song, a rock, alternative rock type of feel.
Fusion.
I don't get the reggae feel, from the music. Reggae feel is more experience coming from the soul, something you feel like you can feel the struggle. It would more sound like a Justin Bieber hit song that you can definitely listen to on the radio.
Yeah, it felt like,
So they're pretty much singing, pop lyrics on reggae one drop.
Reggae influence rhythms, because a lot of those rhythms, a lot of those
they're
beats,
mixed. They're definitely influenced.
It's like a fusion. I hear the rock, I hear the alternative, I hear the pop,
right.
But the reggae one drop, that's really the formula. That's the recipe. It's there. It's present. That's it.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And that's just one little sample.
So, and that alone is a factor of why. So if you're singing pop music, alternative rock, you're gonna get alternative rock fans. You're gonna get pop fans who are gonna rush to your music and come to your shows and buy your music and but you're not classifying your music as pop or alternative rock. You're classifying it as reggae. So now you're gonna get a whole other genres of fans coming to purchase your music. So of course you're gonna propel.
It multiplies.
It's gonna propel you to sell top bucks and units. So.
And that's why I said you have music and then you have the music business. These guys, they clearly have a vision. They clearly know what they're doing. They're penetrating the markets, different markets.
I mean, simply the fact that they live in the States and they're able to travel and tour state to state, city to city is a big advantage.
Over the Jamaican guys.
Over the Jamaicans who must in a small island. And they have to wait to get the passport and the visa to clear to be able to even come to the States, and then they might not even have the money to be able to have a band to travel with them. So that's a big disadvantage already, right there.
That's a great point you brought up. I remember when Chronix was just starting to get into his own and find himself. He was embarking on some tour to Africa or somewhere, like I don't remember where, but or Europe, and they were giving him a hard time. I remember the interview. He said they were giving him a hard time. Right. And he said, you know what? I'm not going unless I get to bring my band. It's 7 of us and we're going. And he stood for something. And look what happened now. I mean, Chronix is the formula.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what Chronix did? Chronix penetrated the American market.
Oh, he bulldozed his way in there. Yeah, and that's definitely a key thing that I feel like that reggae artists should use to get infiltrate the reggae market.
I mean, sometimes you got to take less money. You got to take less money and promote your music and go perform in a bar somewhere in Middle America, Portland, Oregon, or Midwest, or down south, or somewhere in California.
Nothing too small, nothing too big.
Just to tap into those markets, because if you don't do that, no one is going to know who you are. You get what I'm saying?
That's where you get your core fan base, those root fans that are never going to go anywhere. When you're doing these promo tours, these people see you doing live shows, they're going to follow you forever.
And it's exactly.
Oh, Danso
Danso
said, and Jamaican artists should do that same recipe in Jamaica. They should also do local bars, and they gather. First of all, I know it's hard, as a Jamaican reggae artist, to formulate a band because finances is a big thing, it's a hardship. But you have to try to form a band and try to do tours, little mini tours, nothing too
from country to town, island wide,
right?
Island wide, and build your audience, build your profile. So by the time you leave Jamaica, you already have some kind of following. Yep. You know, your fan base is somewhat solid. So when you leave, you have a resume. And that's what's going on right now. It's an uphill battle for Jamaican artists.
It's funny you said that because I seen Chronix did the same thing. He organized a mini tour in Jamaica where he was doing like these little local spots and just doing a massive Jamaican tour.
Oh, the Chronology tour the other day?
Yep.
So he did a night.
But it was specifically in Jamaica, and it was like little local countries and little bars, and it was massive.
Yeah, man.
And this is what, as an artist, we should be doing.
The music it's organic.
Right.
It gotta be organic, man. When you tap into the grassroots, it doesn't matter if it's a tiny little bar, right, in a Portland or in a St. Mir or whatever. You gotta be, again, a lot of people, they're not really about the process. It takes a while. But guess what? Once you get there, you get there. So that's what's going on right now in the marketplace.
Let's highlight ways to. Sorry to cut you. Let's highlight ways we could fix these issues, because we don't just want to give problems and not give solutions. So first thing, Jamaican artists must focus on branding, on marketing in general. So kind of getting the idea of the concept of the industry, the business, learning how to market, learning how to advertise properly, learning how to brand, getting a band and putting it together and doing social media campaigns.
Absolutely.
And street campaigns.
Absolutely. And I touched earlier on positioning. This is a business term. Positioning is basically what comes to mind whenever you see a Chronix. What comes to mind whenever you see a Prodigy. Listen to me, I say, when you say Fareed, what comes to mind?
The realist.
The realist. And guess what now? How are you going to position yourself? By branding.
Right.
By branding yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Whether it may be on social media, whether you're gonna release some kind of product, something that connects with what you're about. That way, when people see you, they make that connection.
Right. And the research that we put into this, it opened my mind into a different scale to know how important marketing is. Also, another way that artists could, fix these issues is secure joint ventures with corporations in Jamaica, like Lime or Guinness or Magnum. You have to reach out to these corporations. Yeah. And if it's maybe not something so big as Lime and Guinness, maybe you can just
endorsements are key.
Right. You find a local bar. You talk to the manager. You say, "Look, I'm taking on the streets. You sponsor me. I'll push your bar." And
But guess what? No.
Yeah.
No one is going to sponsor you if your content does not resonate with their business. That's where we're talking about reggae artists, but let's say dancehall artists.
Oh yeah.
All right. If you're singing songs about killing people or murdering people and all these things, no one's going to sponsor you. Oh, it's always going to be an uphill battle.
Unless maybe it's a gun store.
Listen, me I say.
Or the MOG.
No, nobody's going to, they're not going to want to sponsor you, because at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line.
Right.
So your content must go hand in hand with what they're selling.
And that's the first thing. So
content, that shows you content is key.
It is key. And you, as an artist, knowing the bigger picture that you're shooting for. If you're shooting to be just run the place locally, then all right, fine, sing what you want to sing. But if you're doing this because you want to put a message to the masses, you want to be able to make money for you and your family and be secure, then you have to be very mindful in the content that you put out. We're going back to securing these corporations. So you got to secure these endorsements by putting out the right content and then doing your research and going
appeal
out.
To right content that appeal to their consumers.
Right.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And next thing that we have to fix, I did learn that the governing body or whoever that's responsible for the copyright bylaws, I did learn that they're making some strides.
Okay.
They're making some progress in terms of that, but they're still on the watch list. We must get ourselves off the watch list. Because whenever we get ourselves off the watch list, that's going to open up all the channels, all of the Apple Music. It's going to open. It's going to open Spotify. Pandora. It's going to open Hulu. I put up a post on my Instagram page. and just just a little fact finding mission, and it definitely.
Oh, I see. Actually, seen when someone, one of your followers, he told how hard it is to
use these different services,
streaming sites, and he had to like create some kind of loophole in the system to be able to use it. And I mean, an average Jamaican like myself wouldn't be able to do that. So
if you're not tech savvy, you are not able to use Spotify. If you're not able to manipulate the computer, he called it a go around.
I feel like I'm taking advantage of.
And he used all these different terms, VPS, and I'm like, bro, I want to.
I feel like I'm taking for granted Spotify when he was explaining how hard it is. Well, so that's definitely something that we have to take. The government needs to take care of, being on that watch list.
Yeah, that's big. 'Cause the playing field is not level. It's kind of like a gatekeeper. And that's why our numbers are skewed. You know the stigma, Jamaicans don't buy music. But some people do buy music.
Right.
And on top of that, the vinyl industry is pretty much non-existent.
That's extent.
It's non-existent. So
they have to get it from digital outlets. They have to stream it. They have to...
nobody's buying physical copies anymore.
Right.
You know, I think
most artists are getting their money through streams and
on
online digital sales. So
yes,
it's very important that we get off the watch list so the artists can make money.
Very important.
And again, we're going to emphasize this. It's very important for the artists to create a brand that aligns with corporations to secure endorsements. Right, you got to, and I'm talking about creating a brand that's like a positive role model in a sense across all board, right? So not just singing badness, or kind of be mindful of the content that you're putting out.
Yeah, man. Jamaica is the home of reggae music. The minute you get off that plane, you should be hearing these artists. When you go into hotels, you should be hearing these artists. Those are the endorsements. That's the business side of the music I was talking about earlier. You should be securing these agreements with these corporations. That way, when visitors come to Jamaica, they know about these artists. And when they go back home, they bring it back. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. Right.
Dancehall
Dave is making a good point.
Great point.
The other day we went to Dream Weekend. We got in the taxi. We was hearing pop. I was hearing Justin Bieber. I don't want to hear Justin Bieber while I'm in Jamaica. I want to hear some Busy. I want to hear some Assassin.
You get what I'm saying?
Just to mention a few names.
So
one thing I did want to get in there before we want to talk about the Grammys, the voting process, because there's a very important disadvantage that's happening in the Grammys process.
how they nominate.
Right. So the voting committee is choosing nomination based on name recognition. You want to elaborate on that?
Name recognition. Because my thing is that the Marleys, listen, I love the Marleys and everything. The Marleys have won 12 Grammys. And Damian Marley is nominated for a Grammy. It might be 13 this year, next week. Like, Jamaicans, from what I see on social media and from people who I speak to, the general consensus seems to be Chronics. But for whatever reason, my gut feeling tell me that Damian Marley, as a matter of fact, I looked at the Billboard Reggae charts 2 days ago.
Right.
Damian Marley was at number 1.
Wow.
So he's moving units still. This album, I think, debuted 2 weeks after Chronics or 2 weeks before Chronics in July. People, listen, the Marley brand is just that powerful. It's just that powerful. You get what I'm saying? And it's very, very hard. Even though Chronics, he's made major, major strides as the new face of reggae music. The Marley brand is just that powerful. And people are consuming his music. They're buying his music still.
And it's not just the Marleys. You have Sly and Robbie. You have the veterans, pretty much. The Wailers. Once their name is associated on the charts.
Yeah, because
of the recognition of their name, they're most likely the nomination committee is gonna say, "Oh, let's give it to this person because this is the person that they known for years."
Yep. I read one article that says that the voting committee or the academy or whatever you call them, they tend to snub like new age artists.
Oh wow.
And stick to the veterans. And guess what? Apparently they kind of like changed the guidelines in terms of, how old you have to be on the committee. Well, yeah, that's I learned that too.
That's good. Yo, you see what research you do?
Yeah, listen, man. I did a little reading. Apparently you have to be a little bit younger. You got to be a little bit younger to be on the committee.
That's good.
Because you have these guys who sit on the committee for 40 years.
Oh, man.
And their version of reggae music is still stuck, back in 1980.
Right.
Bob Marley and all that stuff. And we didn't even touch on Europe.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole different podcast.
We didn't even, because Europe is just, we're just so behind.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
And Europe is a massive, they count for a lot of the units that sell for reggae artists.
Absolutely.
Probably more than US.
One might be quick to say, yo, the white boy them I take over reggae music. The white guys, they're stealing reggae music and all that stuff. Before you jump into saying that, ask yourself, what are we doing to help our cause? What is our landscape like? What is our infrastructure like? We need to fix our house.
Yeah.
People, let me know what you think. These guys, what is it? The Cali Reggae Fest or whatever it is. Like, a lot of people don't know. Like, the reggae market on the West Coast is massive. And you might have guys, I read one article that said, I think it was last year, Chronix was opening for Revolution. Chronix is massive in Jamaica.
Wow.
Yet still he was opening act for Revolution, who's a massive reggae band in America. But I don't think Chronix is going to open for Revolution anymore. Because
he's massive now. He's been massive then, but now he's like
So our Jamaican artists, one, we need to we need to fix our home. We need to fix our business,
our infrastructure,
before we come to America and try to penetrate their market.
Right.
But in any event, we got to find different, unique ways to penetrate their markets.
Yep.
Because they're making their own version of reggae, and they're topping the charts, and they're making a whole lot of money. Yep. Meanwhile, we're kind of like playing catch up. We're playing catch up. So if the trend continues, I don't even have to finish a sentence.
It's not gonna be a good look for Jamaican-based reggae artists.
It's just not a good look, and it's very, very embarrassing because in 1993 there were 25 slots on the Billboard charts.
Yep.
16 out of 25
were Jamaican-based.
Were Jamaican-bred artists.
Now it's 10 spots.
Now it's 10 spots, and usually it's about 3.
It's big, so it's doing.
Usually it's about 3. So there's a whole lot of reasons, but the point of the matter is reggae roots music is no longer the popular music in Jamaica. It's not really embraced like that. Meanwhile, there's a certain reverence for the music in America. In Europe, it's kind of like pushed to the back burner. So us as Jamaicans, DJs, radio people, and everyone, we need to hold ourselves accountable. Are we giving these reggae artists music the same strength, the same push as we're giving dancehall artists? You get what I'm saying, for real?
Definitely. This was a great discussion. We hit a lot of keynotes. I learned a lot of things, and I hope you did too.
We take pride in just having a rich discourse. And I must say, this podcast, it took a little research because I kind of got into a little space that I wasn't too comfortable with, especially learning about the revolutions and learning about the soldiers.
Same here.
And learning about the common kings.
And I didn't want to be biased, so I made sure to listen to their music, to do my research on them, and kind of get into a place where I kind of.
Hold on. Yeah. So you like their music?
It sounds good. It sounds good.
Sonically, it sounds good.
Sonically, it sounds good, but it's definitely nothing compared to a genuine reggae artist from Jamaica's type of music.
Yeah. So listeners, if you really, really want to, take part and be interactive with us, I want you to go listen to Soldier's album. I want you to go listen to Revolution album. I want you to go listen to Common King album. These are some of the top reggae artists who are topping the charts, the Billboard Reggae charts. These are the guys who are nominated for Grammys and all that stuff. And what's the other Oh, the Green. The Green. This is my first time hearing about the Green. Marching Orders. That's the title of the album. Who else? Tribal Seeds, another American reggae band.
Why for the Seeds?
Why for the Seeds? Yeah, man, and it's a whole bunch of these American reggae bands who are dominating the charts, and clearly they have the business side down, and I feel that's what we're lacking. That structure, that foundation. So, peeps, again, I want you to go check out these songs by these artists. You know, I know many of you probably never heard of them. Some of you are versed. You know, so we're gonna leave you at that. Also, don't forget, follow me on Instagram at Reggae Music Forever. Follow my co-host Fareil,
aka For Real. Don't forget to follow at Reggae Talk
on Instagram as well at Reggae Talk. Follow us on YouTube, Reggae Talk.
iTunes.
We're on iTunes.
Working on Spotify.
And working on Spotify. Spotify is, it's a process.
What's the other podcast platform that we just added?
Oh yeah, with the what's the other one? Podcast Republic.
So we're on that too.
That's for the Android. We're on Podcast Republic.
And ladies and gentlemen, please do give us advice on where else we can put our the podcast for your listening purposes.
Yeah, man. Let us know. Give us any kind of feedback. So again, until next time, build each other up and don't tear each other down. In the name of reggae and dancehall music. One love, one culture.